Doop doop doop. How are you doing? You nervous or no? How are you doing this lovely Saturday?
I I've done this a couple of times now.
You've done
I'm fine. The thing with me is that I'm very arrogant. I have like way too much confidence, so
it.
it doesn't bother me at all.
By the
You
way,
know, I'm thinking
yeah,
I can talk to 1,000 people at the same time,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it changes nothing compared to the fact that you can talk 1,000 times to one person, and you can just as much
Yeah,
fuck it up.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you
So
mean.
like your odds are kind of the same no matter what in the total of your personal interactions.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but when you're in front of 1,000 people, you got another 999 people who get to witness you fuck up. So, wait, let me just make sure everybody's hearing you properly. Some people said the volume's a little low. Okay, 1 second. There we go. I like to. I'm sorry, I'm still new to this whole streaming thing. Can you say testing, testing a few times?
Testing, testing, lots of and tap.
There we go. Are we doing better, guys? They told me Guillaume is very quiet. Much better, he says. And oh, somebody's playing through Outward right now for their very first time with their overseas partner. It's really great how well the game works with me in the US and with them in Australia. Excited for Outward too. I will say this: I admire how much of a community you've built. I asked a few questions on Reddit to help me prepare for the interview. Like, guys, well, I asked them to help me come up with the questions. And dude,
Oh,
whew,
they're lovely.
they're lovely, but
Yeah.
I would be nervous if I was in your shoes. They've got some high expectations. A lot of people are they're ready, man. And they said the soundtrack is extremely phenomenal. And we also said hello from Alberta. So you've got fans of the music. That's pretty. I
Yeah,
have to,
one of the most
yeah,
astounding fact about the soundtrack was that Jean-François Racine, the
yeah,
composer,
yeah.
it was his very first professional gig. And in my
Oh,
opinion, it
yeah.
was the best soundtrack of the year. Of course, I'm biased, but like
Hey, yeah, hey,
it was
man.
pretty damn
You gotta
good.
believe in yourself. That's amazing, man. You know, I have to say, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I sadly did not get to play the game, but I remember when it came out. I was in Montreal at the time. I was living in Montreal, and I didn't have a gaming PC that was like good enough. I had no consoles at the time. I had my old shitty Mac laptop, and I kept watching the Let's Plays on YouTube. I'm like, man, I gotta try this. I gotta try this. And I really remember loving the use of colors in your game. Like there was a lot of
Hmm.
just the like the purples, the vibrancy, and everything. It felt a lot like it was a parallel to. Did you ever play Kingdoms of Amalur? Reckoning. I don't know
I
if you
have
know
not.
that game. Do you know? Have you heard of that game?
Yeah, I heard of it,
Hey,
and all the political
yeah,
issues with its funding and how Kurt Schilling was kind of defrauding people left and right to get things
yeah,
going.
yeah. I didn't. I didn't know about that, but I remember I had fun with the game. But it was good to find because especially at that time it was like the end of like the PS what it was the end of the PS3, early PS4 era, and there was a lot of grays, browns. Even like Skyrim had come out recently, and it was just whites on grays on blacks, and I just remember seeing the purples, and I was like, "Oh, this looks cool, man." I don't know why the purple resonated. We got a lot of hellos coming in from the chat. A lot of fans coming in. There's so many questions coming in about the game, but I don't know if you know a little bit about us. We're the Indie Den, the indie game dev community, because all of us probably went to Reddit and were like, this is the best place to do marketing. Let's go post in the indie games subreddit. And turns out we're all just,
Surely, if we advertise to every indie dev, we've got enough people to make us
yep,
rich, right?
right somewhere. But so I guess I think a lot of us are very curious about your own game dev experience, and because you mentioned that you went through quite a few failures in the beginning. How did you get
Yep.
through them? How did Nine Dot Studios survive? So tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat as well at the same time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I founded Nine Dots 15 years ago, and in terms of like I was just alone at first. I only had this vision of a type of game studio that I felt did not exist close to me, and
Okay.
I'd rather create a business
Mm-hmm.
than uh, move to a different country and you know gamble whether or not I'm gonna be a fit there.
Yeah.
And because in Quebec City we have a very healthy ecosystem of game development.
You're in Quebec
But
City, not
back then,
Montreal, correct?
correct, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and like Quebec City, like has easily over 2,000 game devs. Like
Really?
it's a major hub. Yeah, it's bigger than Vancouver.
That's
Um,
very surprising given the size of Quebec City.
yeah, people don't think we like because we are because we are like maybe half a third of the amount of people in Montreal. They think that we're small, but no, there's a lot of people there. But most companies were servicing studios or working for um, big powerhouses externally. So we were not creating IPs, and that's what I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And
So it was
there
like
was a lot of
it was like an outsourcing hub basically. Everybody would go to Quebec City to get their talent.
outsourcing, lots of technical help, or sometimes like core studios like Beanox worked on porting major Activision titles like Spider-Man, Guitar Hero, Call of
Yeah,
Duty,
yeah.
major franchises. Ubisoft back then, like Ubisoft Quebec is pretty big. They're the ones who made the latest Assassin's Creed, by the way.
Wait,
Um,
Ubisoft Quebec as in Quebec City is
yes,
a parallel to
it's
Ubisoft Montreal?
yes, and
Oh.
like Ubisoft Quebec made Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Shadows, like
You're teaching
as
me
the
so
core
much.
main team on that project. Yeah, but back
Oh.
then Ubisoft was working on like TMNT DS or My
Hey,
Frog
hey, hey,
Smoking Code,
hey!
like
Don't
very
don't
small frogs.
don't shit on TMNT DS. The DS games, some of those were classics, man. I used to have a bunch of a
I
great time with the
think
DS.
I think the game that they worked on was one of the worst rated DS title of
Oh
all
wow. Okay.
time. So
That's
it does not deserve to be defended.
okay.
But
Yeah,
so
that's
those
rough.
were big companies, but none of them were making the kind of ambitious console and PC IPs that I wanted to like. That's what I was passionate about. That's like
Yeah.
my whole life prepared to work in games there. So after years of trying to get in as a game designer at Beanox, I decided, if they're not taking me, it's that I'm not a fit. And what do I do next? I started making games by myself and with other testers because I was working in Activision QA back
Okay.
then. And
Can I ask
eventually,
what engine you guys were using at the time?
XNA.
XNA. Wow. I
Yeah, because like it was XNA was absolutely huge. Like back then, remember when we were chatting on LinkedIn, I told you like I
yeah.
don't consider myself indie. I went through being indie.
Yeah.
There was nothing more indie than five guys in the office in your apartment
Yeah.
working XNA to release on Xbox Live indie games.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wait, no, the reason I'm
Um,
saying XNA, I'm surprised is what I don't even know it. I know Unity, Godot, Unreal. That's I feel a little bit out of touch.
Unity was not even used to make console games back then.
Oh wow.
And Microsoft opened the door to pretty much anyone wanted to make a game for their console, and that was a very, very new, very bold concept. But the
Ah. And it's
the
called
thing was, you had
XNA?
to use yeah, you had to use the XNA framework
Ah.
in order to be able to deploy on the
Shit.
Xbox. But to
Okay.
me, that was like, okay, the timing is good because there's going to be this flood of new game devs who all of a sudden can work on console.
On consoles,
Because
yeah.
back then, indie meant either you make cell phone games or you make like
Yeah.
PC games. But
PC
even
games.
getting on Steam was extremely hard. Like it was
For sure.
before Greenlight.
For me, indie back in those days always meant miniclip or addictinggames.com. That's what I pictured as like indie
And
games, you know?
that was not the model that I was interested in.
Yeah,
So
of
this
course.
opportunity was perfect for us to really learn the whole thing, like how to make a game, how to market it, how to work as a team, how to make a business. Like, all of that I went through with the most absurdly small budget. So I'm very frugal, and working in QA, I saved $25,000 over the course of 3 years.
Jeez, that's very impressive, especially in QA.
And that's how I funded the whole thing. Of course, we were not paying ourselves wages,
Yeah,
but with that kind of money, like we could
live,
get software, we could like
get
purchase the
pizza.
hardware and get started, try out a few things. And of course, the first game was a bust. We
What was it called? Do you mind if I look it up?
it's called Brand. And if people are interested in like the history of Nine Dots on our website, you can now download it for free.
Brand spelled wait, nine
Brand,
dots.
Brand.
If it should be, it's on your website, right?
Yes.
So wait, not
The-
nine dots wedding photography. I'm assuming. Here we go.
on the Nine Dots, I think it's 9dotstudio.com.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Yeah, no, it is because I nearly went on nine dots wedding photography, and I don't think that's. So
Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah, brand. I see it right here. Wow.
we made that game over the course of like 10 months. And the point of that game was to finish something and to know ourselves as a team,
Yeah.
so that then we could really start shooting for something ambitious. Because there's no point in trying to make a game huge if you don't know what are your own limitations and your
That's
strengths
true.
and your weaknesses.
That's true.
And that's often my first advice for people who want to start an indie studio is your goal is not to make a game. Your goal is to make a company that is good enough that as a symptom, good games can be produced there.
Somebody just asked. Sorry, I mean to interject, but somebody Cipher Daggers in the chat said, "Is that why there's a weapon called Brand?" And according to On Raven Wings, that's why. Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we made we tried to have a few winks from our previous games
That's awesome.
So we finished Brand. We made maybe $30,000 out of it.
Dude,
most of it was through a crowdfunding campaign.
From what? From what campaign?
Most of it was from a crowdfunding campaign.
Crowdfunding.
Back when we were not even allowed to be on Kickstarter because we were in Canada, so we did it on this like defunct website called Rocket Hub.
What was it called? Rocket what?
Rocket Hub.
Rocket Hub? Dude, Brand looks pretty good. I'm watching some Brand gameplay right now, and that's pretty impressive that you guys got this done. In what year?
It was in 2012, if I recall correctly.
I see a lot of what's it called? Kingdom Hearts inspirations from the style. The
Not really.
No?
I was no. But yeah, like our goal was, since we're this very new studio, we were shooting for the highest production value of Xbox Live indie games. So we wanted to be the top of the lowest tier rather than be at the bottom of the tier above us. That was a strategy. So we just focused on making something that looked really neat and had a very self-contained concept. But once again, like that game was not meant to be the expression of our full potential. It was more like, hey, we exist, this is noticeable, but watch us next. And then we made God Factory Wingman. So the first title we worked for 10 months, then 2 months to port it to PC so that we could release it on 2 platforms. And then we started working on God Factory
Wing. But that seems to be a completely different genre. How did you guys just you went full 180? You went from sword fighting to 2D action to 3D space?
So God Factory was made in Unity. So right away, like we were not as
limited,
constrained by the tech as we were, because XNA is more of a framework than an engine. It's very much a do-it-yourself kind of thing. So making something very simple, like a 2D platformer, was
The best
like
solution.
it it wasn't the time to try and reinvent the wheel, essentially.
Yeah. Makes
Um,
sense.
with God Factory, we had those internal conversations about the types of games that we missed like there was nothing happening in the space combat genre, and we were
This
many
was
on the
what,
team.
2016, 17?
So we made that decision 6 months before Star Citizen was announced.
Okay, I was gonna say that was right about the
Yeah,
time when that's
and
ballsy.
yeah, and when that happened, we were dead in the water right away because
It
Space
didn't. You don't think
Citizen
it
and
gave you
Living
a
Dangerous were
boost?
sucking all the air from
Yeah.
the room. Like that it was not a genre that had enough people like
To
craving
share.
for it to care for that many titles within that genre.
You don't feel like it invigorated you guys until the actual product could be launched by on Space Citizen? Like it didn't give you guys a little boost of like people who were willing
Now,
to wait out?
like whenever we had any marketing beat, and we did have some like traction, we had like cool articles and everything, and we even had like Total Biscuit checking out the game at PAX and all that.
Oh,
But there were always
comparisons.
lots of comments about, yeah, sure, but this is no Star Citizen,
Yeah,
essentially. And
that's rough.
and like the joke is on them because Star Citizen will never exist. Meanwhile, we did finish the
you,
game. We released it, and it was like,
you mean Scam Citizen at this point?
yeah.
Oh man. By
But
the way, sorry. Sorry, please go on, go on. I interrupted you.
so we were at that point where we had released 2 games without making much in terms of revenue. But at about like a year and a half of development of uh of God Factory, keep in mind, we worked without wages, no salary at all for all of brand. Then we made just enough money to like buy ourselves new hardware, like new computers and
Yeah.
everything, new desks, so that we could have an office rather than keep working from my home. And
Okay.
that's what we use most of the money for, not paying ourselves like salaries or anything. And then we worked for a year and a half, full time, no salary.
And this
Again,
is
so 2 years and a half
still
in
for
total.
God Factory? Or was this after God Factory?
1 year
Sorry.
and a half for that factory and 1 year for brand. So if you combine them for 2 years and a half, like we had no
Jesus
like
Christ.
recurring wages. It was a marathon. But then we signed a deal with Bandai Namco.
Oh.
So that's how we funded the last like 8 months of development of God Factory. And that was
That's a
very
huge.
interesting.
These are huge news. How did you get that? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, the Kickstarter campaigns that we did to try and like spruce up the game
Yeah.
failed, but
Okay.
they did draw attention from from them as a publisher because they were looking at games worth
Investing into.
publishing, and they saw that we had something solid. We also had like Razer that was sharing the game a bit, um, and we had Total Biscuit that had validated that he had
That's
interest in the title.
that's a name I haven't heard in years. Total Biscuit. May he rest in
And
peace. That's crazy.
he was um, but yeah, so we had been struggling to get any kind of real revenue up to
Yeah.
the point where, and I don't think they would care all that much nowadays. So I'm just gonna say it like they signed us for over $250,000. So that was very serious money
Yeah.
for what a couple of years before, just 5 juniors in
That's
an office,
amazing, dude.
you know.
Okay.
So even though we were not profitable at all, because we started paying ourselves wages once we had real money.
Yeah.
So we were not profitable. On the contrary, like by the time I signed with Bandai Namco, I was personally $50,000 in debt. Like
Man,
all my credit control and everything to
I'm
just
launching my
get.
own game right now, and you're stressing me the fuck out. I'll be honest. If
And we ended up essentially having a ghost launch. The truth was that our publisher was not ready to publish indie games. They did not know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And so, like, they chose the release date at the same time as the start of PAX West. And back then, it was a huge event. Like,
Yeah.
PAX West was almost as big as E3.
Yeah. I remember.
And they decided that we'd release on the day that PAX West starts without us having any presence at the event.
That's brutal. Oof. Yeah,
It
that's.
was disgusting. Um, and so, like, almost every review we had on Steam of God Factory was great game, but no players don't buy.
Oh, especially because it's multiplayer. That's brutal. Oof,
Yeah,
man.
so that was extremely painful, and I decided that I would never subject myself to a fully multiplayer game ever again.
That
But we
must.
still love multiplayer, but it had to be optional.
And that's why Outward and Outward 2 have a local, local, not online.
Well, you can play
You
online,
can
but
play
you
online, but I'm
cannot.
saying you have local just in case.
Yes,
You
exactly.
learn
Like the
from
game
that lesson.
can live, can breathe on its own. Just one person wants to buy it and play it, they can.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if somebody buys God Factory right now, they better be very social because they need to convince other people to play with it. Servers are empty.
They're still on though? They're still live?
Yes, I'm like, I take issue with all those devs and publishers who are shutting down servers
Yep.
for multiplayer games because truly it costs nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
the reason why they do it is usually bullshit.
Yeah. And you can
Usually,
and it's a
there's
scalable
no,
price model too, right? Because it's
yeah,
not like it's like you pay when the people come. So if nobody's here, you're paying. I know my game has multiplayer servers and costs me $7 a month. Like if I'm at $7 a month, listen, then maybe I shouldn't go into game development. But I know exactly what you mean. It's like it's really a scammy reason, especially for multiplayer only games, which which have communities of people who bought these games. Like the whole point is like I want to be able to play my game and I can't. By the way, I just have to address the crowd. We've got a few questions about the game that they keep asking. So first of all, will Outward 2 have a pet cat? That was question asked by On
will have a
Raven.
what?
Have a pet cat. And people keep saying Jep. I haven't played Outward 1. I should have Googled Jep. And I know
Yeah.
it was Gep, sorry. And in Reddit as well, they asked about him. Please tell us more.
You want to know more about Gap?
Gep and on Raven Wings was asking if we can have a pet cat. I was also asked about mounts, and they mentioned about the boar in the trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
They're very
So
curious about
there
all of this.
won't, there are no pets, no pet cats. Sorry about that.
No pet
That
cats on Raven.
aside from the mules.
Okay.
So mules, like, to me, they're more than pets. They're not just like,
Yeah.
look at it. They're actually like they have utility. There are no mounts, but there are mules. Like the Nefert has those like saddlebags
Yeah.
inside. Um, Managing inventory in Outward, like the logistical aspect, can be seen as very tedious. To me, it's immersive, like to get your own. But the idea is that if you can drag along with you more stuff, like as if you had your a huge chest that could walk with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
it allows you to have the gear for two different regions at the same time. So if you are in a wintry region and then you're going somewhere very
Really
warm,
hot.
you
Yep.
need to bring with you the equipment so that you can go from one or to the other without like being kind of forced to have inappropriate gear for the situation. And it also makes it less obligatory to do lots of back and forth
Yeah.
between regions.
Especially
Mm.
since there's no fast travel, and that's something you guys are adamant about. But
Yes.
comments have been pushing. Why no mounts? Why no mounts? Why no mounts?
So the thing is,
Yes.
the essence of Outward 2, what we want people to feel is a sense of threat and wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a small team. Like, we're only, like, the core team is less than 20 people. on Outward 2.
It's amazing.
So there's a limit to how much of the surface area you can cover with content.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a mount, you just zip through that content very quickly. And so, because you're going fast, you don't have the sense of wonder and you don't have the sense of threat.
That's
Outward is very much a game about the journey. And if you're skipping that journey and all you're doing is just like disembarking because you're at a dungeon or at a town, you're missing out the whole part of the experience that makes it brief and that forces you to take stock of your resources. Like, we gotta manage where we sleep, what we eat, gotta find water. You need to travel between two cities or some distance. There's attrition because of the encounters. Sometimes you need to avoid them. All of that is voided with maps. It just does
That's
not
true.
make sense with the experience that we're trying to push onto the player, which is Ori, the world of Outward, is extremely hostile.
Mm-hmm.
And that hostility will not be felt
Yeah.
if you have a mount. Unless that mount is like super slow to the point where it's kind of useless.
Somebody said, yeah, give them a mount that's slower than the player speed. Or to, well, so I used to be heavily against this until I started playing MMOs. But auto running has become kind of useful. And I've realized maybe a mount that's slower than player speed, but where you do like an auto pathing system, kind of like, I believe it was Dragon's Dogma had
Yeah.
a chariot system where you can just hop on the back and just kind of wait
Yeah,
it out.
the second one. But
Yeah,
we do have auto run.
yeah.
You still need to like sway left and right,
So
but
left and
it
right.
allows you to look into your inventory and prepare some stuff, adjust your quick slots for whichever skills you're gonna be using for what's coming.
That's true.
Uh, Choose which item you want to consume on your way, like food and water.
By the
Um,
way, Kamon31 says it was such a good journey that they did it 4 times. Walking, running is the funnest part for exploring, and he did some hardcore runs. And
cool.
Lyle Snake says, I actually agree. It's very immersive to not fast travel through the thing. They ask for more quick slots, however. Cypher Dagger says, please more quick slots.
Well, we doubled the number of quick slots for Outward too, so that's a solved problem.
There we go. They doubled it. So you have your answers. They want to know more about the weapon quick swap on the backpacks. On Raven Wings, I'm gonna ask for more in-depth questions so I can actually ask it. But I have questions for you ready, by the way. Number
Okay.
one, did you guys expand upon gun magic more in Outward 2? We only had one, technically two with the Wind Sigil, gun abilities that used mana. I'm planning on a magic only run for my first playthrough, but if they added more gun magic, pow pow, I'ma be slinging pistols.
So I'm careful not to reveal too much about what are offering the different skill trainers.
Okay,
So what I did reveal was there's a skill tree called the Soldier of Fortune that we've
okay,
shown. Um, that explains like how we're gonna tackle the what I consider the most classical melee class.
mm-hmm.
I have not shown that much about spells
Okay,
and different abilities. I'm gonna say there are 8 skill trees once again, and they still have those breakthrough blocking the path, like gating which skills you can unlock later on.
okay.
But progression system has changed, and I essentially I'm a sniveling bastard, and I think those are two good marketing beats to reveal them. And I'm just gonna drop those trainers
All
to
right.
make sure that we have a maximum amount of players who are planning in their head how they're gonna play. So I'm gonna give you my little psychological dirty trick.
Okay.
I'm trying to have people make plans on how they're gonna play. Because
Wait,
if
can you
they're
repeat? Can you repeat? Sorry, I'm not
I'm
sure.
trying to make people plan ahead what they're
Mmm.
gonna play. So recently we revealed our character creation system and like all the types of choices that you can make.
Yep.
So players might think, oh, I want to play a lap worshipper, or I want to be a Soloborian, or oh, I'm sure I'm gonna have fun playing a hobo that is cowardly and an elf. That kind of stuff. And then we're gonna reveal to them like the different skill trees, and oh, do I want to play more of a stealthy assassin kind of guy? Do I want to
Aggressive
play with a
hobo?
darkness skill? Do I want to play with guns? And yes, guns are there. They're going to be supported. There's going to be cool features for them. But I'm not saying
Revealing
all too
too
much about
much.
it. But to the point where eventually players will have this kind of mental roadmap of how they want to play. And then when they do play it, they're probably going to change path as they
Of
have
course.
like new options thrown at them, and they familiarize themselves with the game. But the important part is if they're planning how they're going to play, they already skipped the step of thinking whether or not they will buy it.
There you go. That's true.
That part is going to
Marketing
be tricky.
101, guys. I like this. Have them plan their playing style. That way they buy it. Clay's Games, who's actually who's making not a similar game, but a let's just say spiritually similar game, is asking, is there, I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, is there going to be any summon slash necromancer type class in the game?
So my answer to that is
Buy the game and find out, please. Is that it? I think, yeah, I'm starting to understand and appreciate your marketing strategies. They're very good. I'm going to take one or two notes here. Lyle Snake says, I want to play with Spears, Robot Face. And I've been debating, and Kamim says, I've been debating on my first playthroughs build for a while. I plan on going pure magic playthrough on my first attempt, but I have been wondering if we will see any new gun magic. Well, we just got that answer 2 minutes ago. And Clay says, okay, then let's go. Release the game so he can buy the game and play it.
well, there's the playtest coming. So there's
Exactly.
that. Registering to the playtest will allow people to like seek their teeth into the game earlier. Regarding the question for Spears,
Yes.
our combat system is really a good step above the original title,
That's
and
good.
you can dual wield. So what happens is you've got one button mapped to one hand and another button for your offhand.
Okay.
If you use a two-handed weapon, like a two-handed sword, two-handed axe, two-handed or a spear, the button that is usually for your offhand is actually used for new specialized
Skill.
moves
Okay.
for that weapon type. So for the spear, for instance, if you click the offhand button, it's a step back while poking. So it's a good move to use as a way to stay
Ward
safe,
off, yeah.
poking and ward off. And you can do that within any combo, like after a skill, after you've done a wide reach or whatever. So it's very fluid. And then if you hold the offhand button, it does a very wide swipe
Swing, yeah.
using
I
the
see
axe
it.
and not the spear tip. So high impact to kind of try and manage a crowd.
Like AoE.
So those two skills well, not skills, those two special attacks combined with just the ability to poke from afar makes it a very safe weapon, and it will be more complex to play two-handed weapons
For sure.
than one-handed ones. So if you want to really push yourself into the mastery of a two-handed weapon, the spear is a pretty good choice.
You know the problem. I'm smiling because I'm like, oh man, maybe I do want to play a spear run, and I'm like, oh, he's getting me inside his web. This is crazy. I actually have another question, but I don't think you're gonna want to answer this one. And it was the most upvoted question. It was ask him about the magic system. Period. Which isn't even a question. I asked them for questions, but ask
Okay,
him
I
about
know what they want. I
what's
know what they
new
want.
and what's returning. That's what they really want to know.
So they can expect the same kind of multiple steps to make spells kind of
Okay.
gameplay. It was it will not be more uh, obvious. It will stay within those. It has to feel like it's an arcane ritual,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Magic needs to
we're
feel
not gonna
difficult.
be telling them too much. We're not gonna simplify it. We're just adding stuff, and some types of spells are coming back. like the fireball and the fire sigil was a classic. We're not gonna take that away, but we added some really cool new stuff. So we've shown, for instance, that there's a skill from the Soldier of Fortune called Cathartic Charge, where it goes in a frenzy, starts running and hit. But
Yeah.
if you start to move what inside the fire sigil,
Yeah.
you catch on fire, start running, you leave a trail of fire behind you, and when you attack, it does an area of effect fire blast.
That's awesome.
So we've got some novelty going there, and part of our community really like analyzed like with a very fine comb, like
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
every little crumb of information they could find
But
on the
that's
internet.
good.
Everybody had a lot
That
of
means they love it.
educated guesses.
That's amazing because that means you've got a community who loves what you make, and that means that down the road you can grow with the community. And assuming that Outward 2 is going to be a great success, which it seems like it's going to be, it's going to mean that Outward 3 is going to have an even greater scope and an even, and that's really awesome. DJ Your Money, I like that username. Will there be returning areas that people who played the first game will recognize?
No.
Nope.
That's something that's been asked a lot. Part of it is just like as creators to like it's already sometimes a bit hard to
Yeah.
stay within the same IP because like we worked on Outward One for 7 years in total, like 4 years of development and then 3 years supporting it.
Okay.
If we
Okay.
were to then work on Outward Two for 5 years, just redoing a region that we've already done, it's
Yeah.
kind of demotivating.
Yeah. And it's diminishing returns as well for you guys because, like, people are going to be like, I've already seen this and stuff like this. I'm going to want to discover the new areas. So,
And not only that, but we are really stepping up the graphics of the game,
it
and the
looks like.
regions are much more dense. But how do you stay faithful to the original regions when you have new tech, new capabilities, when you learn how to do better, but you want to respect like the layout and everything as it were? It's an awkward challenge. I'm not saying we'll never do it, but I think that if there is more time,
Like a
like
DLC,
let's
for
say
example.
awkward 3, 4, 8, then coming back makes sense because you can kind of
Mm.
focus on how it felt, how
Yeah.
you remember it that it was,
Uh,
rather than how it actually was.
the best example of this, guys, is actually the Elder Scrolls Online, which actually permitted you to go back to Morrowind and those regions. And all of a sudden, obviously, technology's evolved so much since the days of Morrowind. But now that you're in an MMO setting, you can obviously it's different, but you can see that they really took some time to really bring it. It feels nostalgic, but at the same time, it feels relevant again. There's been enough time to want to
Exactly.
rediscover, and I think that's
Like
really
the
awesome.
Dragonborn DLC in Soulstain, where
Yeah,
they brought like the last DLC of Morrowind
yeah,
as the last DLC of Skyrim as well. And to me, it's when that DLC was added that Skyrim became, in my opinion, about as good as Morrowind. And I know that people will throw rocks at me for saying that, but both like Morrowind has strengths that Skyrim does not have.
yeah,
But now when you play Skyrim with that DLC installed, well, anyway, now it's like all packaged in the same edition. But you have some of the Morrowind music, you have
yeah.
some of the Morrowind lore, you have some of the strengths of Morrowind, but you also have the entirety of the strengths of Skyrim. And people don't remember just how bad gameplay, like the
Was
game
the
mechanics and
jumping? I
stuff.
remember the jump that could send you to fucking space in Morrowind. There's like a scroll, right?
Just attacking with your spear at an enemy and you see your lance clipping through their model but it doesn't hit them because
Yeah,
it's still worked on a dice roll system but with
yeah.
real time combat. It was a mess. I fucking love that game, but
Yeah,
it was a
yeah. By the way, Lyle Snake asks, "Can we go to Haboob?" I want to go to
yes,
Haboob. It sounds like a
we can go
bust.
to Habu.
We can go to
I, I,
Haboob.
I would all I'm gonna say is stay tuned
Stay tuned. Stay
because
tuned, Lyle Snake, because we're gonna be going
there's
to
a lot of
Haboob.
information about Habu.
Is there also a Habooty? Sorry, I had to ask that question.
That
Uh, that was a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
that is up for you to find out.
That's for us to find out. You see, that's how he's getting us. He's coaxing us in there. Somebody asked about the pack board from the old trailer, the board that was following the player with packs on its back. So you answered about that previously. And then I told them to come and ask them yourself, but they said they're working because they want to save money to buy Outward 2. So there you go. What is the biggest lesson you learned from Outward 1 and how you used it in developing the sequel?
So, my biggest lesson in making Outward 1 was because 9 Dots, we are extremely efficient with our resources and our production processes.
Okay.
But what we had not experienced before was the intensity of project fatigue.
Yeah.
Outward was in development for 4 years. And when we were at the halfway point, like 2 years in, we had very little feedback about what we were working on. Most of it was done internally. And it still felt like we were so far away from the end product because it's a deeply systemic game.
Mhm.
Like games that are rich in systems don't start good. They get good over many, many years, adding all the layers and the features until they kind of gel together.
Yep.
And you have to trust the process, you have to trust the designers,
The
and
vision.
that is only valid if the designers are actually good at what they do, which is not the case of most. But if you do have the right systems and everything, it can come together. But managing the morale became crucial. And because of our race for efficiency, we were always developing things in the order that made the most sense to mitigate how much work would have to be redone or reevaluated. So when you make a game like it has all those features and
they're
when
interconnected. They're very interconnected.
Design and all that, what they'll do is they'll do one vertical. Oh, let's do like magic or combat or economy, survival. But if you want to save the amount of work you got to do, because they're all intertwined, they all have to just go up a little by a little.
Yeah.
And so over 2 years, it felt like nothing was getting done because it was all like back end stuff.
You didn't get big victories to celebrate and take some step back, like
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's tough.
but to finish the one vertical meant that you had to kind of make guesses that will probably be incorrect on how other things will work.
Yeah.
At the time they're finished.
Yeah.
And so you lose time. But because morale was starting to get low, production was slowing.
Down, yeah.
And so I had to make the decision to reorient what we were working on so that I thought if morale gets back up, we'll be faster, even if we do a little bit more work because we have to go back, because there will be something in the game that feels good.
Yeah.
So it's really weird that we have to do something that is suboptimal to get morale, to have higher momentum of development. But if we had done that from the start, forget about it. Because we like in the beginning we're just 6 guys trying to make an open world RPG. We cannot afford to not like optimize every single decision.
Yeah.
But once you are this far ahead, eventually we had to kind of switch gear towards make things feeling closer to the finish line. So that was a big key learning. And how it applies to Outward 2 is pretty simple: to not panic. To know that this is kind of the cycle of morale and everything, and to make the team trust us because we hired new guys who never been through the process of making a game, right?
Of the lull, like handle the lull.
But now we've got the studio vets who can tell them, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna be fine. We'll reach there. We've been through this before. This is normal. and
Mm-hmm.
that reassurance can kind of keep them going. But at the same time, I try to keep check with the lead artist, the lead programmer, and to kind of know where we are at and to not be like I was just powering through things myself and telling
Mm-hmm.
them like get behind me, let's move forward. We have no choice. It's either like
Make or
it's
break.
do or die,
Yeah.
right? And it was true. It was do or die. It was really the situation we were into. But with Outward 2 having more resources and more experience, um, I could take that step back and sometimes just look at the macro thing and reorient some of our decisions. One thing
Nice.
that we tried to do, like in the in the last year, we kind of lost that pacing, but every 6 months we
Mm-hmm.
would do a complete reevaluation of all the work that is left, and like do what we call an inter sprint. So in between two development sprints, we would have this kind of free flow period, just so that we can kind of polish some things and add some extra things and make sure that we are confident in the direction we're going. So
That's
that's
awesome.
something that we change in how we work
Yeah.
to maintain
I
morale and stay aware of where we are at.
Clay's Games says because Clay's I told you was making also a very ambitious like a 3D adventure game, and they're experiencing development fatigue, and sometimes it's like it really like it weighs on you.
Yes.
You know for me personally when I was making it, so I made a board game that's somewhere between chess and Slay the Spire, and after a certain while, it's crazy how much your own self doubt like is the biggest like burden and hurdle that you have to face. It's like, did I make a mistake, and am I dragging other people along into this mistake that I'm doing? Like
Yep.
it's really tough. Like I
So
admire the balls you guys had to just push through it.
to like the solution to that, of course, it's never simple. It's never just one thing, but you need to have a very strong sense of introspection and apply it during pre-production. You
Mm-hmm.
need to identify the vision, how you position yourself, why your game deserves to be made.
Yeah.
The answer to that question needs to be pretty clear, because if you start asking yourself that halfway through and you don't have a clear answer,
Yeah.
it's very easy to like fall in shambles.
Yeah. Yeah. Just found it spiraled
You
out of
need
control.
to know why you're making that game,
Mm-hmm.
why it's going to be special. And at the same time, it can be very reassuring when you find it and extremely scary when you don't. But if you don't have the purpose of your game in mind, like why should that game exist? Um, the most cruel question I ask, because I am often a mentor
Yeah. New
to
devs.
new entrepreneurs in making games, and I tell them, you're gonna make maybe 10 games in your life. Why is this game taking one of those 10 slots?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes they go extremely anxious, and it paralyzes them to understand the weight of the decision of what you're making.
Yeah.
But if you're introspective, if you are seeking that vision,
Mm-hmm.
then once you do have it, you've got like you're gonna leave trails of fire behind you, because
For sure.
you'll be like energized by this thing that has to exist.
Exactly. Like a Hot Wheels car, just blast right through. Actually, somebody said, Cypher Dagger says, you should have given little treats to the employees if ever they were feeling down. We've got some more questions about the game. Kamim, I don't know how to pronounce your name, buddy. I'm sorry. Kamim3L says, I love the Primal Ritualist when Three Brothers came out. Such a unique idea for a skill trainer and the way totems work in combat. I hope we can get some unique skill trainers in Outward 2. And also, what's the best whiskey brand? Cypher Daggers answers Gaberry Whiskey in Outward 2.
My favorite distillery for whiskey is Glenmorangie.
Okay.
I really like the word. The very basic ones at 10 and 12 years old are really good. Um, they won't like kill your wallet. And the Quinta Ruben is sherry cask finish. Is very complex, and there's Nectar d'Or that is more renowned from Glenmorangie, with a little bit of a citrus aftertaste. It's great, but it's so popular that getting your hand on a bottle means shelling out like 140 bucks.
Yeah.
Pizza Ruben is just as good but less known, so you can get it for like 110. So for a lower price point, you got the same quality and you discover something new. So
That's
go for that
nice.
one.
Also, I love the look of the horror fists. Will there be more crab-looking fists? And wait, briefly before you answer this, Clace answered you saying, "I just made a game I would like to play myself. Maybe not the best reason since I'm one person." And he says, "You said it's gonna be one out of your 10 games you make," and he said, "Since he's been working on this game for a decade, I'm not sure he's gonna be making 10 because it's gonna be 100 years." But no, I have faith in him. He's a very hard worker. He needs to show his game more because it's really beautiful, and I think he's a little shy about it. But going back to the horror fists of the crab, tell us more. Are there more scary
Okay,
fists?
so we don't have fist weapons, at least from the get go in Outward 2.
Okay.
But we can punch and kick stuff if we have an empty hand. So if you have a sword in one hand and nothing in the other, it can be used to punch and to
Oh
kick.
hell yeah, dude.
Um, but like equipment in Outward 1 often geared towards a very exotic,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we had a proportion of our players who complained that there was not enough equipment that was down to earth. And it makes sense because the mood of the game is very much about like doing something immersive, realistic,
Yeah.
and so I agree with that. And I'm not saying that there's nothing fancy or weird in the equipment, but we're trying to have a different ratio where we have more stuff that feels more like proper survival and war equipment.
And somebody asked, is the weapon based on Magnamalo hunting horn? Oh, is the weapon grind with a capital G, based on the Magnamalo hunting horn from Monster Hunter? Because they look a little similar. No.
I don't think so. I was not even aware of it. It's just like among metal players, sometimes they call their guitars their axe,
Ah,
and
yeah.
that like we just decided, okay, it's going to be an axe. That is a guitar.
So somebody asked a very interesting question. Two questions. First of all, console, why not releasing now, and if it will be later? And second of all, will there be more puzzles? I haven't played in forever, but some of my fondest memories were from assisting Rink and Godzilla
Yeah.
with working through those puzzles.
Okay, so for those who don't know, when we were marketing the game before it was released, we added very subtle cues for an ARG puzzle.
Okay.
Um, and like those were very subtle. Like I'd be on a stream and look at a wall, and there would be some inscriptions. I'd just stay and look at it for maybe 3 seconds, and then go away, and then they would decipher
Yeah.
and then realize that they had to do like something wacky in the Discord server or whatever. People can look it up on the wiki, and like if they look at the outward puzzles, they'll find some really weird
That's
stuff that
awesome.
we've done. Regarding the question of whether or not there's going to be more, um,
You have to tune in and find out. I like it.
well,
Um,
if I were to say yes, then
that's gonna take away the fun of the puzzle. What are you guys asking all
yes,
these questions
and
for? Come
like
on.
by not saying it, even if we don't do the puzzle, they still stay super attentive.
Yeah.
And if I do say that there is a puzzle, they will take for granted that everything is a clue for a puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's just best to not say
So
anything and
what are
see
you
if they
guys
are
asking all
clever.
these questions for? Come on, figure it out yourselves. This is the puzzle. And for consoles, why not? What's going on?
Okay, so the consoles is like we're gonna be in early access first,
Okay.
and we're not gonna be in early access on consoles at the same time as PC. It's best
Okay.
to focus on like one platform, make sure that we nail the experience, and then port it.
Ports it. Okay.
And then the
Reasonable.
question is which consoles?
Yeah.
And the reason why we have not announced anything is because I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know what the landscape of console gaming will be like in a year, 2 year from now. It's it's very shaky.
Yeah.
Like we just see that now, like Costco and Walmart are no longer even keeping Xboxes in store.
Yeah, but
Like
that's because
it,
Microsoft's not even keeping Xboxes in mind. I think that's the biggest problem.
it's a weird situation. And then I'm gonna be honest, like Nintendo has done great products, they've had great games, but they've never been good at supporting developers.
Yeah.
They've never been good at it. And right now, like what they push forward is either their own stuff as the big ticket games
Of course.
or quaint indie games that feel retro.
Yeah.
We're not either of those things. So we don't know if we would get any support
From
from
Nintendo.
them. And if we can't get support for them from them, worth wasting like $500,000 of budget just making sure that the game runs on the Switch too. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends on how much traction we have. Like the more copies we sell, the more it makes sense to just go on every console.
Yeah.
Or if I can strike a deal with Sony or Nintendo for some exclusivity or for something in exchange for more visibility or whatever, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna take that strategy. So
For sure.
I'm just keeping things open.
Yeah.
The fact that we've already revealed the game is already shutting down some doors because usually first party companies they like to be the ones announcing a game.
Yeah.
It's the highest value announcements when they're doing live streams and stuff.
Internally, yeah, for sure.
But like there are so many games being announced that the second best deal is to already have traction, and then they're wondering, hey, why are we not having that game slated
For
for
sure.
us? And then they come to me. I'd rather have them come to me than me go to
Yeah,
them a
for
month
sure, for sure. Because then
have
you have the
others
leverage.
at the door.
You have the leverage to negotiate and everything.
Yep.
Somebody asked something. This is very specific. So we had a question about reshaping the original maps. We answered that. But the one I like is it would be cool to know if you guys are planning to add utility slots to certain equipment, like cloaks or capes or anything like that. It is my pet peeve with the first one. When I am in light clothes and winter comes, I would like to just grab a coat or a pelt or anything. At least like a last resort. Same in the desert. Like a little jaleba over my gear would still be better than nothing. And second question, I think this one's also very interesting, is bows and crafting. Will bows return and will they be a viable primary weapon or relegated to being a secondary? Will there be any skill trees that enhance crafting ability, like getting more traps, arrows per craft, or unlocking new recipes entirely? And will any of the unique ideas from Outward's DLCs be present in the sequel, like weapons that come with a
That's a
downside?
lot of questions. I can't
Sorry,
answer them.
sorry.
First question regarding like having a piece of gear that you can put on top of what you already have. The problem with that is one, it's its own system
Mhm.
that is just not planned at the moment. And like just thinking of all the physics and everything of making it believable that it is like sitting on top of the variety of armor shapes and all that,
Yeah.
it's a technical mess. But not only that, it kind of makes lots of the gear options less interesting because you can always compensate the environmental weakness with just having the proper like, oh, I
Extra.
don't need to have a warm armor because I can have a cloak, or oh, I can hide from the sun with this kind of thing, and so I don't really. It just cheapens the thinking process of what do you equip on your character.
Okay.
Regarding the question of the bow, Bo is coming back. We've done a few things that are complexifying its gameplay. We do have some skills related to it. I don't believe that it was a secondary thing ever in Outward One, but it did become more flexible with the last DLC because it added elemental arrows. But I don't agree that like just because it couldn't be the one and only thing
It's not
to
necessarily
defeat everything
secondary.
does
Yeah.
not mean that it was secondary. It means
Yeah.
that you needed a secondary to compensate for the
For
things that
the
you couldn't do.
uh
And
yeah.
I try to design every skill tree and every play style to never be extremely good against everything.
Hmm.
Like there should be some weaknesses. If oh
Of
you're
course.
ranged, that guy's gonna fuck you up. Oh you're melee, that guy's gonna fuck you up. Oh you're that element, well that guy is
And
resistant
that's
to
what
it.
makes
Oh
the
you're
game
this,
fun,
you're
though,
slow.
right? Because it's like a rock paper scissors system, and
Yeah,
that's always that's the element of preparation that comes with it. Like, I know that this
right.
guy's really good with distance, so I should probably get something that's gonna counter that. Somebody asked an interesting question in the subreddit about split screen and how can they change it now
No.
because
Okay,
nope.
so there's a reason why there's almost no studio making split screen anymore.
Yeah.
It's because it is extremely challenging.
Okay.
It's extremely challenging for the graphics. It's extremely challenging for your UI. It's extremely
Physics.
challenging for the design because
Yeah.
everything has to be thought, whether you're playing it solo or with someone else who can interfere at every single step of every single action that you're doing.
Yeah.
We are almost the only studio left doing split screen, almost. And
Doing
that's
the
because
split faction,
like
the guys
you're
who did, yeah,
doubling, you double the cost of making a game. And if you ask me, yeah, but I want to be able to just shape shift my screen however I like,
yeah, it's just,
no, I can't afford to do that with a team of 20 people. We've got four programmers, four.
yeah.
We've got like one guy who can do texture, who can apply that on our menus. And you want me to have menus that can change shape according to if you're splitting horizontal or vertical? Do you want me to just bleed myself dry right here and now? I can't do that. Of course, it'd be fun. Like, I
Yeah,
get it, but we had to choose which one makes the most sense. And if you are traveling and you want to look at the horizon, it just makes more sense to have a horizontal split. So we chose that one. There are arguments for a vertical split, especially when there's high verticality. We can't even jump in our game, so verticality is not that much of a thing. More so in Outward 2 than in Outward 1. But yeah, I could go on and on. There's like so many reasons, but to be able to do split screen, we have to make compromises. We have to
yeah,
make compromises on the graphical fidelity. We have to make compromises on the design. We have to make compromises on like the flexibility of that system, because it's either that or not having the feature at all. And
mhm,
if there are other studios that are like more granting more flexibility, good for them. But keep in mind, everything that they do with that is something else that they are not doing.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
we are
money that
already
they could
kind
have allocated elsewhere. So if you guys want your bows to have more uses in Outward 2, then stop complaining about the split screen, okay? And they said I can accept no jumping, but let me pat my cosmetic pets, please. So a lot of people are asking for these pets.
of
Um, we've got a few questions also about mod tools and support because modding seems to be quite a big part of your community.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm just asking if there will be and what are the thoughts about it?
we are very grateful that there were people interested enough in our game and its fantasy to do mods. But to make features that help modders,
Mm-hmm.
once again, doing that is not doing something else.
Yeah.
And we've looked at like the different options, and like we've been courted by the different hubs for modders. Like, oh, please let us be your official solution for modding and everything. But every time we look at it, it's just adding more work on our end to do, and it's not clear what is going to be the most useful things. Like, what are the things that modders will want to add into the game or not? So, given our very limited size,
Yeah.
what we chose to be our approach is more so to be transparent and accessible. So, you might not have the perfect modding tools, but you'll be able to talk to the CTO of Nine Dots and asking questions about how the game works
Yeah.
and be able to help you figure out how to do your mod.
That's
That's
true.
the best we can do. And of course, I'm not saying that if we've got like 1,000 modders all like asking his
Yeah.
attention, that be able to answer every question. But in general, like our Discord server, I think one of the reasons why it is so popular is because when you look at the right and you look at the number of members, you see that like everyone from Nine Dots is actually online and they're here.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's part of what we have to offer. We want to be very transparent. We want to interact with our players, and we want to interact with the modders as well. But making the tools, like once again, we've got 4 programmers. Which one should stop making features for the game to add mod support?
Yeah. But one of them that seems to be asked for a lot is increased multiplayer capability,
Maximum number.
maximum number. Yeah. Um,
Um, I'm gonna give you the same answer as for the mouse. We want to induce a sense of threat and wonder.
mm,
Playing with friends is really, really cool,
and makes
but
it easier.
is the crowd. Once you got like this dynamic of group management, people will get in a frenzy, in a hurry, and they will do
No.
mean and they're noisy. And by
Mhm.
going through that, you will not feel threatened. It will be more meme-tastic, and it's super valid. But if we want to deliver the outward experience, the sense of threat and wonder, that immersion, this adventure life simulation,
Mhm.
I just could not see it happening tonally with
And
more than 2 players.
and people are astoundingly and stupidly smart. When you get multiple people in on a server, you're gonna have one guy who's just gonna like min max like potion making so that the whole team never ever dies and just runs on fire. Like people are impressively good at breaking things when they're in groups of people, whereas when you limit it to 2 people, it's like there's only so much that you can do. You know what I mean?
And once again, it's a matter of what is the vision, what is the mood. But
Mhm.
we do agree that it's really fun to play with friends and everything. And the game we are funding right now as a publisher, Witherbloom, is up to 4 players co-op because it is not so heavily invested in that sense of threat. Um,
Oh.
so that's something like, and part of the mechanics of the game are directly inspired by the code of Outward 2. So like
Well,
we've got something to offer as a different product, is what I'm saying.
that's amazing. That's really really good, and that must be exciting and nerve wracking as well. I also wanted to ask you. Somebody asked a very valid question here, and I think it's a very interesting and insightful one. How are you guys managing the expectations that the first game has set? Outward got very popular even outside the niche of hardcore RPGs, but wasn't always well received. Are you guys confident that you guys will convince even those that were disappointed in the first game by some of like the jankiness, for example, and the quote unquote they put in entre guillemets lack of production value, lack of like dialogue and stuff like this? How are you guys adapting and moving forward, taking the best from the past, and you know?
So it is such an amazing opportunity that we have. Outward One was not supposed to be this successful. We
Mm-hmm.
were lucky. Like we worked really hard. We made a lot of sacrifices, and we made a game that no other team could have made. But we were still lucky. If we had sold a 250,000 copies, I would have been like over the moon already. And we
Mm-hmm.
sold 3 million units.
Jeez, yes.
Outward was like when we started working on Outward, I had $0 in the bank. I had an extreme degree of precarity throughout the whole development. Like I never had even 6 months ahead that I knew that I had like all the funds I needed before shutting down. For and it was like that for 4 years of development. After and I had already gone through like 4 years of extreme stress. And at first we needed to get like VC money. Then we tried a Kickstarter and didn't work out. At the same time as we were doing Kickstarter, we were also asking money from the Canada Media Fund, which we
Mm-hmm.
did get. And then even on the papers that I sent to them, like the paperwork, I was telling them either the game is going to take 2 years and it's going to be in early access, or it's going to be 4 years if we sign a deal with a publisher because development is not going exactly in the direction that we wanted, or like whatever is our contingency plan. Well, guess what? We needed a publisher after all. And so we had to sign a publisher. Publisher doesn't give you all the money one shot,
Yeah.
and they're not your friends. They might be extremely hostile to you. They might have internal politics where one guy who's signing you is confident in the game and the other one who's supposed to be marketing it is not confident in the game, for instance. So you are constantly wondering what kind of internal discussion is happening and if it's going to be good or bad for you. And they can, like, if you don't hit a certain milestone, you no longer have the funds, and you don't know if they're going to be like confident in how they're going to be marketing the game.
Yeah.
So here I was going through 8 years of hell, and for all of the game development, I was simultaneously running after every single breadcrumb of funding so that we could keep going. And that meant doing things suboptimally. Like, we could not make the best game we could because sometimes we had to make the game in a direction that would draw a bit more funding, a bit more funding. We need an alpha for the CMF. We need a beta for the publisher. We need a build for marketing. And we don't control any of those dates, right? It was hell. And on top of that, it was our first RPG. And not just our first RPG, it was the first open world RPG you can play in split screen. And we were making that with a team of 2 programmers.
Jesus.
Now we sold 3 million units. The game is entirely self-funded. We will publish the games ourselves. We are choosing the dates. We are choosing everything about the game. And we are applying everything we learned from spending 4 years making the game before release, 3 years supporting it based on the feedback of the players. And now we've got all that, plus an amazing community and an IP we know we can count on. Is the game going to be great? Fuck yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, guys, you heard it here. Fuck yeah. It's gonna be a
There
great.
are 2 types
Yeah.
you can receive. The first one is, I don't like your idea. Well, okay, play something else. And then there's the second type of feedback, which is, I like your idea, but now not how you executed it. Okay, I'm listening. And so people complain about combat being janky. People complain about character creator not being good. People complain about the story being kind of lackluster. People complain about the lack of production value. Because people complain about the graphics. Well, guess what?
That's
We've
all
got
fixed.
more than double the game development budget. We can look into all those things that people complain about, and most of the time we agree with them. We are making the game we want with a production value that doesn't feel like a compromise, and we are doing so with way less interruption and interference from
From the
outside
outside.
parties.
Hell yeah,
I
man. People are cheering you on in the chat. They're extremely proud and they're
I
saying, yeah.
really think that what we have on our hands, like, it's gonna be our best work. I'm really sure of that. But there's a chance that we're holding something that is gonna be like really truly special because we can just focus on making the best game we can. And every decision I've made was how to maintain the bar that I've set that is super high, even if it meant increasing risks, even if it meant like doing very hard decisions. Like, there's people we did not keep on the team. It sucks, but like, just because we're comfortable does
Yeah.
not mean that we're gonna
Be
stop having our
complacent.
standards,
Yeah.
and especially because we've got an audience who needs
Who has
Outward
high
2
expectations?
to
Yeah.
be flabbergasted. And Outward 1 was surprising because it was this very unique, very like confident vision. We can't just be unique and confident in Outward 2. We
Yeah.
have to surprise people again. And
Yeah.
how did we decide to surprise them? By having those much higher production value and by addressing the type of feedback where people who wanted to love Outward 1 but couldn't were just making sure they have less reasons to bounce from the game.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. You got one copy sold. That's for sure. That's amazing, man. And somebody's very happy that you added beards. So they said your passion
Of
is
course.
inspiring. Somebody just said BRB smoke break, but this dude just made me lock in. I thought I had it hard. I think GZ. I think he meant good job, but good zob. Also, guys in the crowd, I just have to say in the chat, there's one thing we have to applaud Guillaume for, which is even more impressive than everything he's accomplished. Is that despite all of this stress, he's managed to keep an amazing head of hair. So that's that's a skill in and of itself, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Because me, I just launched soft launched my first game, and whew, man, it's requiring balls of steel, and it's like it's shocking how when I gave it to people, I should have done more QA. I learned a lot, but when I put it out to the world, I realized, oh shit, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that, I forgot to do this, and I forgot to do that. And it's like, oh, it's you end up having to really be in the thick of
Have
it.
to be your harshest critic
So yeah.
because the players, they don't. If they do care, it's good,
Yeah,
but they don't have to care.
exactly.
Like they care about, I gave you money, give me a game I like.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need to be aware of that it's not their job to forgive you. But
Mhm.
if you are communicative, if you are transparent, if you talk with them, you can shift their perception of things. Um, but if they are right in their criticism, tell them
Mhm.
so.
One quick question. This one, I'm surprised I missed it. Romance. Is this in the works? Not in the works? What are we talking? Ah, ladies and gentlemen, you want to
Not
find
really.
you want to
I mean,
yeah?
I
But
I'm
not
deeply romantic myself.
but not in games.
Well, even in games. But once again, one thing that I've been repeating it over and over during my press tour in Europe. In Europe, it's I find it weird that in RPGs you get to save the cat and save the world. Like
Yeah.
if you have something that is keeping you busy, if you're a member of this group and you've got a mission, or if you're, where do you find the time to just do those mon- mundane
Take care
sidetracking
of your
kind of
wife,
quest
like in Fable
objectives?
2.
Where's the room to actually like become romantic with someone when you're traveling the world, usually alone, across different places, doing stuff that is super dangerous? Um, so it's just hard to find its place. And I'm not saying like I love Mass Effect, I love like any game that has romance. I'm gonna be participating in that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for it. But once again, like the tone of Outward was
But
just
in Mass
not.
Effect it makes sense because you guys are all on the same plane
Yeah,
or ship. But in Outward, I guess. But I like how you gave an in-lore reason as to why you guys didn't want to develop romance. Like you're traveling the world, bro. You're busy. You can check out the ladies after. But actually, Pavli, big fan of the show, big friend of the show, said, "What would you do differently in your game dev journey if you could start again from scratch?" And I'm just gonna add a few little tangents that will make you laugh. Some Lyle Snake says you can romance player too, which and
we've got a surprising amount of players who told us that like playing together is what got them attached to their girlfriend or boyfriend, and like
yeah,
sometimes they made their like proposal in the game
in
and
the
stuff
game
like that.
that's amazing.
It's
And
pretty amazing. It's a good feeling. So, what would I do differently? So, there are so many lessons. I can't name them all. Some key learnings are just because you have a contract, no matter how solid the contract is,
mhm.
if the other party is so much bigger than you that they don't care, they might as well just like not follow through, and there's very little you can do about it.
Yeah,
So, when you are putting yourself in a partnership, you want to stay as autonomous, as independent as possible, and see whatever external party as something that is adding stuff to what you're doing, but you should always be the core of everything. Keep doing your marketing, keep looking into localization, keep doing your QA, keep thinking about like your go-to market strategy. Sure, they're the ones who are supposed to be taking care of that, but keep an eye on it. Come, like
They're never gonna
it's not
care about your game as much as you are. It's just that's the what it boils down to.
they will never know, but also like once you are in those big companies, for a lot of people, it's just like a paycheck. They
Yeah,
have no passion, and
of course.
often they are not competent. They're just hustlers. They could like weasel their way into the company, and then they don't really care about if your game's gonna sell or not. And like, if you're at Play On and you've got like Outward and Kingdom Come and uh, Dead Island, like we're still third, so their priorities will shift according to what is the biggest title that they have to handle. Of course, there are
Yeah.
different people, and it's not like everyone on your project is not giving a fuck. It's not what I'm saying, but their context is they are spreading their bets into as many different
Yeah.
baskets as possible, right? And sometimes it means that maybe they won't care about it. And my experience with publishers that like sometimes they're active and sometimes they're not. And sometimes they want to be good, but they can't. Sometimes they don't want to, even if they could. So don't count on them as a replacement for the stuff you got to do. I know that when you sign a deal, when you hire an external team or whatever, you want to have less on your shoulders. The truth is, you've thrown yourself into that arena. Your shoulders will always be the heaviest, and you can't save yourself from it. And if you think that you can't
Yeah.
save yourself from it, you're just gonna do more and fail and die.
Of
So
course.
don't.
And also
Um,
going back to the whole to the whole publisher, whoever you're going to be working with, at the end of the day, their job is done. When 6 p.m. hits or 5 p.m. hits, they go home. Whereas for you, this is like your lifeblood. This is your passion. This is your project. There is no really going home. You know what I mean? You're taking all of this home with you. So nobody, like you said, nobody's gonna care about it as much as nobody's going to be able to put as much effort as you,
mm,
and nobody's going to be able to endure as much for the project as you.
yes.
You know, because like at the end of the day, sometimes, like you said, they just don't even have a choice. They have 3 games to choose from, and
Yeah.
Kingdom Come. It's just a numbers game, you know. It's sad, but it's the reality of the. So I think that what you mentioned, especially for all of you game devs in the chat who are paying attention, autonomy is key. Try to be as independent as possible. I'm always shocked when I see guys always like very excited about pitching to producers, and I'm like, it feels like I feel like if I for me it's always been like I'm selling a part of the dream. That's my biggest fear whenever I work with like pitching with producers and stuff like this. Is like at the end of the day, the moment I involve other people, it means I'm removing some of my own potential involvement, and that worries me. They,
Well,
yeah,
not necessarily. I would not agree with that.
okay,
So it really depends on the scale of what you're trying to do.
okay,
Like Nine Dots was not able to market Outward One.
okay,
We had some things going, and like I did get some really nice hits, right?
mm-hmm.
But I was not prepared. I did not have the skill set to like thoroughly do a full launch for Outward One.
Yeah,
I I admit that. To have this self-awareness meant that it was still valid to make Outward, but we needed a partner to reach that vision. So to me, it's more a question of where do you set the bar? If you set the bar at a place where only you is going to be a sufficient resource to attain it, then sure, maybe don't involve somebody else. But if
mm-hmm.
you want your bar to be pushed a bit higher, then it's not necessarily a compromise to have collaboration, as long as you maintain your own involvement.
Yeah, but that as long as is always what worries me, and especially when you're in a position where they give you money, um, then that as long as becomes a as long as they say. That's my biggest concerns. Like, if ever the publisher starts taking a big stake in the company, then they start taking creative decisions, and little by little, it's like I remember Konami and what's his name, Kojima, and
Yeah.
they just the way they ended up having to have a fallout. And luckily, the dude who plasters his name in every single cutscene in the game managed to break off on his own and make his own studio, and like successfully. But like it's always worries me whenever I see people very excited. I agree. Cumulatively, in an ideal world, your the the contribution of a publisher is enormous. But I'm always cautious. I guess I'm always worried when I hear people like,
That caution is sane. It's just that you don't want it. Um, if your caution is taking away
from your
to
growth.
reach
Yeah.
your goals, like sometimes your goal you might have thought you were gonna do it by yourself, and then halfway through you realize, shit, I'm not gonna make it. What do you do then?
Yeah.
You need extra funding, or you need extra partners, or you need more time. Like there's going to be a compromise somewhere the moment that things are getting more complicated than you thought, which is always.
Always. That's very true. I have two little more questions because I know we've taken up a lot of your time today, Guillaume, and I know the little ones are probably asking, "Go back to work, Dad." But what are some QOL quality of life changes that you put in Outward 2? And will we have universal house chests in the definitive edition?
So now that we have the pack mules,
Mm-hmm.
like inventory management will be like needs to incentivize having a mule. So the inventory in one house won't transfer to another. That's the role of the mule that
I
is
see.
traveling with.
Ooh.
Regarding quality of life, well, the mule in itself is probably the biggest quality of life change.
Can you feed the mule?
Aside from that, we're doubling the quick slots, as we said.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, a bunch of little things. And the definitive edition of Outward was already like applying a lot of design lessons to the game, and we tried to keep what we could from that and apply it to Outward too. But like quality of life stuff is mostly things that you add when you're in beta or in early access, because then you can see
Yeah.
what are points of friction as you play or as players are giving you feedback of their experience, and then you adjust. And to me, it's important that if we do an early access, it's not just a funnel for funding. It has to involve the community, and we have to like see them as like they are they're the financier of the
Yeah.
game. Like they're
Yeah.
funding it. They have a say, and we need like without going like full on mercenary, just doing everything they tell you. At least you have to consider that they are now a stakeholder much more so than when they are just a player because they're buying the game before it's even done.
Yeah.
To deserve that trust, you have to be listening.
That's true. Just a quick question. Can you feed the mule?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
heck yeah.
necessary.
Oh,
It, it,
that's
it's
stressing
gonna
me
die
out.
if you don't do it.
So you heard it here, guys. You don't want your mule to die. And yeah, Hamster Hammer said most game devs turned CEOs almost always leave the position to get back into the trenches where they feel like the real inspiration is. Um, interesting take. Well,
It
yeah,
happens often, but in my case, the truth is I love them both. Like I love being a CEO and I love being a creative director. It's rare to find someone like most often profiles in my shoes they're one or the other, and they do the other one like because they have to.
yeah,
So you will see somebody who is very passionate about making games, and they are the most socially apt, usually, or the most responsible, like they're the adult in the room, if they kind of end up being the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because they wanted those responsibilities, but because no one else would have taken that kind of charge.
Yeah.
In my case, I think that I'm good at it, and I enjoy making those decisions. And I feel that I am a better CEO for being because I'm a creative director, and I think that I'm a better creative director because I'm a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
When I am looking at things on a macro level as a CEO, like I always keep in my mind the importance of the product. I always keep in my mind like what is it that the players want, what is what is my connection to the craft, to the art of making games. That is making me a better CEO. That gives me better sensibilities. It gives me better instinct. When I am a creative director, as a CEO, I understand what is at stake. I understand that I need to hit those deadlines. I need to make back X amount of money. I understand what the market is like. I understand that, oh, those games will be competing with you, and you need to position yourself in a smart manner because you can't, I'm not going to be better funded than them. So I need to be different enough. And I can nudge a creative direction to make sure that our product stays relevant.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's how you do marketing without killing the art is when you can find the valid, the viable vision for your game
Mm-hmm.
across all the different ways that it could be that is still cohesive with the business strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I can I can act as a creator that is not a sellout because I am both at the same time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it does not, it very rarely feels like one is in conflict with the other. To me it always feels like one is helping the other because it
It's
gives me a very wide understanding of the situation.
and I think that's also part of why Nintendo's games and game mentality, I should say, was so successful is because if you look at a lot of their leadership, a lot of them did come from those trenches. A lot of them, even Reggie was a big gamer himself. The Nintendo of America, the CEO was
Yeah,
Reggie.
I mean,
Yeah, he was yeah, exactly, Fisemi. And I remember when they announced Smash Ultimate, and the clip was him fighting with the Japanese CEO. You could tell that, huh?
Satoru Iwata.
That's the one, Satoru Iwata, and you could tell that they have like a passion for the game. That they came from that background of like being in the trenches,
Yeah,
being
especially Satoru Iwata.
yeah,
The guy was like the OG programmer on Kirby.
yeah,
And he would good programmers are kind of rare in
yeah,
Japan. And to be the guy who could solve technical problems in Japan, even back in the day, made you extremely influential,
yeah.
important, and overloaded with work. And to go from this station and kind of rise through the ranks to a position of CEO is an amazing story. And you could tell that he kept it at heart throughout this whole tenure as
Heck yeah,
president.
heck yeah. And but yeah, and you see it, and that's why there has never been a bad Mario game. There's never really been a bad Zelda game. There's been less great ones, but the level is always like phenomenal. Like you can tell that all the things he's involved with really hit it out of the park. And what I love is that even if they take creative leaps like Super Mario Galaxy or Mario Sunshine, it's a completely different ballpark than Mario 64, and yet you can tell that there's that passion behind it, and they've learned everything and they carried it, and that's man, I'm getting
Yeah.
goosebumps thinking about it.
When I think of Nintendo, I don't know if there's a method to the madness, but there is courage.
Yeah, that's for sure, and except for Metroid Prime 4, which I'm very nervous about. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the guy? The
I, I'm not enough to track, I say, and to follow games that are not even out. I don't even have a Switch 2, so
Fair enough. Fair enough.
not yet.
One day. All right, well, Guillaume, thank you very much for your time. I'm not gonna. I said 1 hour, and we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes, so I apologize for all your time. But thank you so much, and I hope this cleared up a lot of things for everybody who joined in on the chat. And we're gonna, if it's cool with you, we're gonna post this interview as well on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. I really look forward to Outward 2's launch, and you've got yourself a buyer. So at least you know you sold one copy on this call, at the very least. And they're saying it was great seeing you, and they really can't wait, and they're very happy with the interview. Do you have anything that you would like to say or announce about the game? Any shout outs, fans? Shout out to your mom,
On
dad.
top of my head, like there's not much that comes there. I just want to give a message because this is the indie game dev
Yeah.
community. So to the developers, a lot of people will try and tell you what can and cannot happen. There is something to be said about being conscious, like having consciousness of what's happening. But you will always need that little folly, that like you will need that child at heart, and don't lose sight of like the core of Nine Dog that has served us well was respect the developers, and that means yourself. Respect the players, respect the art. Keep that with you, and eventually, maybe not this venture, but if you apply that throughout your career in games, it will lead you somewhere.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Go a little crazy, guys. Don't be scared and just run into the pits. I like it. But it's scary, my friend. It's scary. I'm in it right now, and I'm nervous. But and unfortunately, unlike you, I haven't kept all my hair. So I'm hoping it'll come back after the game's successful.
It won't, I'm sorry.
It'll come back. If the game's successful enough, it'll come back in Turkey. That's what I tell myself. All right. Well, thank you very much, Guillaume. I'm gonna be parting messages on the stream, so if you guys want to chill for a few minutes, so I can say bye. It'll be a pleasure. Guillaume, merci beaucoup, and best of luck. And I look forward to. I'm gonna join the Discord. Is the Discord on the subreddit?
Huh?
Is the Discord for Outward on the Outward Games subreddit or no?
It probably is. If not, like it's the official one, so it's easy to find. Just
Okay,
if you
it's
search.
on the. Okay, then I'll find it. All right, Guillaume. Merci beaucoup, and
very
have a
much.
very lovely night. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still online. Whoa. How are we doing? Did you guys have fun tonight? Can you put your Western teaser trailer you made in Outward? Hell yeah. I don't know what that means, but that sounds cool. Tell me, Clace, what's up? Can you guys still hear me properly? Is it too loud? I can lower the volume a little bit. Guys, I had a blast. You guys were all so talkative and asking so many questions. Hamster hammer? I don't know where that hair is coming from. That's the only thing that worries me. I don't want your ball hair or your ass hair. I'm very glad I got to see some returning faces like Pavli. Obviously, Clace is always here, and that's amazing. I was very nervous. But I had a lot of fun with you guys, and it's always a blast being here with you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. I don't know how many of you guys are actually devs. Camimel, you were really insightful today. Thank you for being here. I hope you get to join us for future live streams as well. You have waist-length hair. Ah, so it's from your head. I'm assuming it's not waist-length from your ass. I'm sorry. I just I had to. No, I'm trying to do this more often with devs, but I'm by myself. I try to reach out, but I'm only one man, guys. I try to contact as many people as I can, and I don't even have LinkedIn Premium, so most of the time they just ignore me. But the ones that answer, I always try to bring them to you guys. I don't know if you guys remember, I did Ori and the Blind Forest's creator, the guy who made Rhyme, and a really influential guy named Jason De La Roca. I like to call him the godfather of the game industry. And I'm just happy that you guys are freaking here, man. These interviews aren't great. What's great is chatting with you guys. I'm just having a blast. Especially while I listen to my freaking Naruto Sasuke music in the background and live my lo-fi weeb fantasy life. It was nice, man. It was really cool. And yeah, Guillaume is a very good talker. Very, very good, very good talker. So I look forward to seeing how his game comes out, and I'm gonna try to show as much support as I can when I can. And if you guys have any developers you guys want me to bring onto the show, tell me. Together we can work faster. When I'm by myself, I'm just Googling game devs, famous game devs, and then I end up messaging Hideo Kojima on Facebook, and he didn't answer. No, I messaged the guy from Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. I'm Facebook friends with him, but he doesn't answer me. So... E33 devs would be nice. Oh, nice, Hamster Hammer. You should play it. It's apparently it's very good, and apparently, what's it called? It's the second one is even better. They are French, Maraki, they are, but I don't know if they're gonna want to just have me do it. Yeah, I know people still use Facebook. No, you want to know something crazy, Lyle Snake? I added him back in 2012. No, 2009, when I was in high school, and I googled who created this game, and I wanted to message him as like a fan. I hadn't even played the game. I just watched Let's Plays on YouTube, and he accepted my friend request, and then just ignored me. I mean, I'm sure he just saw a random Arab kid across not even France, at the time I was in Boston, across the world, and he just but hey, I tried Sven Winky, and he didn't answer me either. From Larian Studios, but one day I'm gonna be so famous he will. Oh, that's awesome. For half a second I thought you said you worked at Nintendo pre-1900s. I was like, Jesus, how old are you, Hamster Hammer? Working on the original Nintendo, because Nintendo's an old company. I don't know if you guys know. Let me show you. Nintendo creation date is 1889. So I was assuming you were working in the 1880s. Man. Dude, you feel that old. Look guys, I'm sitting on a wooden chair on this pillow that should be on my couch because my back and my ass is cracking every 10 minutes. Anyway, guys, it's always a blast to be here with you guys, and I just wanted to say I'm always having fun. This is a great time. If you guys want to show some support, download Kumome on iOS or Android. I don't know if it's still on the store, but it's a fun game. Yeah, bad posture is my problem too. Look at me, I'm looking like Quasimodo. And I have to leave Glaze. Wait, you finished which game? Outward? Meraki? That's amazing. How did you do that? There is no way you finished Kumome. Meraki, there's no way you finished Kumome. There is no way. If you did, I'm gonna send you a prize, honestly. This dude finished my game? Are you insane? I have an adjustable desk. I had to. My tailbone... So I'm not the only one who's got a freaking problem with my tailbone. Look at the chair I'm sitting on, guys, just so you understand. This is why I appreciate it if you watch the ads and chat as much as you can, because it brings more viewers so I can buy a new chair. Look at what I'm sitting on. Oh, Jesus. Meraki, you played it when I was waiting for something in real life. Dude, you have no clue how happy that makes me. Bro, that breaks your heart. That breaks my fucking tailbone. So, if you have extra hair you want to donate and make a pillow for, but Meraki, I'm really touched. You have no idea how touched. So you're telling me you got through all the worlds, not just the green one. You got through the other ones. Because our interface was horrendous. We really need to up the UX and the UI. So if you manage to beat every single level, I'm blown away. That's amazing. You're gonna make me call my grandma, man. You're gonna make me call my grandma and tell her somebody beat my game. The game L apostrophe? I don't know what that means. Dude, Meraki, you're gonna make me cry on stream. You guys can clip that if I cry on stream because of Meraki. But yeah, guys, I always have a blast with you. Today is a particularly special day. Stop, man. You're gonna actually make me very, I'm really trying to build a little bit of a competitive scene so we can get some PvP. The game you're making now is an NES Legend of Zelda style, about 5 months in. That's amazing, dude. You're trying to launch it by the end of capital DE Sember? Is that German Sember for Deutschland? But hey, if you have a demo and you want me to check it out, I'd gladly. Meraki, I was telling you, I'm trying to get a little bit of a competitive scene for the PvP, which hasn't been getting a lot of love. I need to I just need to get better at programming so I can depend less on programmers and just do some of the stuff myself. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Guys, I'm saying this genuinely. I really love this community, and I love that we can all just come here, chill out, and have a great time. The bots are easy. Sorry, Mr. Super Smart Man. But don't worry, I'm gonna make easy. I made the bots easy because I was worried people wouldn't be able to beat it. I can give you hard levels if you want, if it's too easy for you. That's awesome, man. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna try to do another stream next week. If you guys have any ideas of stream types that you guys are interested, hardcore mode. Interesting. I wouldn't mind doing that. I might do a bosses mode, like a gauntlet. You have to see how far you can get through harder and harder levels, and every time you die, you start back at the bottom. But everybody, we've been playing around with big news, another potential game jam. So that could be really, really fun. And I've been playing around with different ideas of stuff I want to do for us. Interviews. I actually want to do a debate. I think a debate about the game industry would be very, very cool. Just about... Wait, what would be nice? A gauntlet mode or a debate? But like a debate between do you think monetization in games has gotten out of control or not? Are we in the golden era of video games? I personally think we are. Make a mode that when your name is Meraki, the bots are invincible. Yeah, I think a debate would be really cool. We can have some game devs discussion nights. Ideally, that could be really, really cool. We could have it be what's that shitty game? Oh, publisher versus no publisher. Hamster Hammer, coming in with great subjects. I was thinking we could have it be those shitty Jubilee shows. They're kind of nice, but where basically we ask game devs questions, and I pull out a question, okay, and I go what do you think is the hardest part of game development? And then we have all the 4 devs talking amongst each other. Or maybe members vote on ideas, or if ever. And this is the business side of me. If you guys want to submit questions live on stream for 50 cents. I'm not an expensive guy. No, I'm kidding. But it would be cool to get community questions live on the stream. So yeah, I'm sorry about the ads, guys. I know we get ads now. The problem is we're trying to use that money to fund as much as possible the community. Last stream we got 23 cents, my dudes. So we're making it. Mama, we're getting out of the hood. But I think it'll be cool to just be able to financially do stuff as well. Like if we do game jams with money prizes for the community, if we can pay artists to make an asset pack for the community, I think that could be really awesome. Yeah, a round table stream would be really, like, it's something that I would really love to do. Ooh, tell you what, normally I never do this. Clace, can you DM me that, Camille, watch for 1 more minute. Can you DM me the link, because it's on my other computer, and I can't open it. I'll watch it on stream just for you. 1 second. I really hope this isn't porn. If it's porn, Camille, I am not gonna be happy. Can somebody DM it to me on Discord so I can... Made it 4 days using short shots of outward. Interesting. Doop doop doop. Let me see if I can just airdrop it, maybe. Copy link. Rickroll. Dude, I got rickrolled this morning. Somebody, and my dumbass. It was Half-Life 3 trailer got announced by Valve, and I was like, really? And I clicked on it. I don't know how I'm stupid enough to really even think that it's even close to being possible. Yeah. Clace, could you send me the link on Discord so I can watch Camille's video by any chance? Because I can't seem to get it from one computer to the next. Wait, maybe I can. Give me a second. We're gonna watch a little thing. Oh, and it was fast with Clace. Oh, it looks pretty beautiful. Let me close this. The Ballad of Blood Bullet Billy. Thank you, Clace. Copy text. The title of the video is The Ballad of Blood Bullet. Oh, thank you. Oh, you sent it to me, Pavel. No, wait, Pavel. I didn't see that you sent it to me. I'm sorry. And what did you say, Meraki? It's not April Fool's either. No, so yeah, it was a really shitty prank. The other day, guys, you guys want, we're gonna watch this, but a friend of mine, I'm gonna tell you guys, played the worst prank a human being can play on somebody else. I nearly had a heart attack. Let's watch this first. I'm digging the music. I'm digging the vibes. This looks sick. Let me know. Do you edit a lot of videos? Because we're looking for editors for our YouTube videos if you're interested. What is this for? Did you make this music, by the way, Camille? Premiere Pro. I use DaVinci. Yeah, the music is good. I'm very happy that they managed to find so much success with this game that let them grow into another game. Alrighty. The Ballad of Blood Bullet Billy. Very lovely. You guys want to hear the worst freaking prank a human being can do to another human being? By the way, it was a very lovely clip. My friend calls me at 4 a.m. because we crossed each other in the street at 2 a.m. I'm asleep, but I fell asleep holding my phone, so the vibration wakes me up. I pick up, but he hangs up. I freak out. I go, what's going on? I message him like, are you okay? And he goes, bro, he texts me. Because I tried calling him back. He goes, I fucked up. I'm in deep shit. And I say, what? What happened? He refuses to answer me by text. I'm like, please, bro, just what the fuck are you doing? What are you telling? Like, what's happening? He says, I just need to know, are you in on helping me or not? So I'm stressing out. I'm like, my adrenaline is blasting through the roof. I call him and he goes, bro, you know the samurai sword in my room? I was trying to impress a girl with it, and I was drunk, and I stabbed her. I was like, what? Why are you telling me this at 4 a.m.? Why are you making me complicit to murder? I was freaking out. It was 4 a.m. I was having heart palpitations, and then he goes, oh, it's just a prank. I'm kidding, dude. So yeah, I have that wasn't a prank, dude. That wasn't. I probably did not laugh that night. I nearly had a heart attack. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm alive. Nobody got killed, and we're all having a great time here. Guys, I'm gonna wish you a very lovely night because it's been 2 hours. Meraki, you made my night. You really touched my heart tonight. Wait, message requests. How did I? I'm so stupid. You guys really fucking, you're the best community, and I can't emphasize this enough. And yeah, man. Much love to you guys. Wait, why is my Twitch freaking out here? Well, I can't see what you're typing, but I'm assuming you guys are all saying I love you and we all love each other. So, much love to all of you. And I look forward to my next stream with you guys, okay? And I will see you around. And as we say in France, bonne nuit and bonne soirée. Good night and have a lovely evening.